everyone, and welcome to this week's St. Luke's video update. I got to thinking this week as I was reading over the Gospel about these little bottles of anointing oil that I picked up in the Holy Land last year. You can tell this is just a teeny tiny little bottle. This one is scented like frankincense and myrrh. And when I was in Israel, I picked up a couple of these and brought them back for us to use if we wanted to do an anointing. Sometimes when someone is sick or when they're dying or even when someone has just died, I'll go to them and visit, and we'll just take a little tiny amount of this on my finger and maybe anoint a forehead or hands and feet and pray for someone in that way with this kind of anointing oil. It's a very ancient tradition. But a little tiny bottle like this, like the one I picked up in Israel, will last for years, for decades really, the way that we use it. Not so in the story of the gospel. The story that we read on Sunday has Jesus at the home of his friends Mary and Martha and their brother Lazarus. And in the middle of their gathering, Mary goes and gets a bottle of very expensive perfume. Not a little tiny bottle like this, but 3/4 of a pound of an expensive and elaborate perfume, and proceeds to pour the whole thing out lavishly over Jesus and anoint his whole self, his hair, and then to use her own hair to wipe his feet. It had me thinking about the difference between the extravagance of Mary's gesture and this little tiny bottle of anointing oil. When we think about making an offering to God, do we think about taking just a tiny little dab, or do we really give everything? Do we give our whole selves over to God in all things? That's what we'll be talking about this Sunday, our offerings to God. See you at St. Luke's.